Okay, we're starting off slow. Chapter 44, Jessica. So we talked about this a little bit yesterday. Who do we think is going to be telling this story? Ooh, I love that I see all these hands. Jimmy, I don't want to hear you. Oh, who's telling it? Hate it.
We heard last time that we were reading it, that
Okay, this is titled Jessica. Who do we think is telling this story?
Jessica.
Who's Jessica?
Jessica's Harry's mom.
Okay, do we agree? I should see agree. Okay, good. I am so glad that you all are starting to get that you're starting to get this is going to be told from Jessica's point of view, right? Before most of the story we hear from Harry's point, but every once in a while we hear from his mom. Jessica Cook felt worn out on Saturday evening. She'd been determined to tell her boy an honest version of the story, but only one that both of them could afford. Every word had felt like a step onto a fragile stick above a tiger pit. Perry was earnest and trusting, open to believing the story. He'd been intently focused with his little camera and his pencil. Afterward, he was respectful and loving, encircling her with a hug that had gone deliciously long. Perry was also smart. Jessica knew that her omissions were risky. She sighed as the microwave in Block C kitchenette hummed and her bowl of broccoli went round and round. If he sensed gaps in her story, he could start filling them in with his own inventions. Oh dear, she'd been so careful, and now here came a flood of misgivings. Well, if he had questions, he can ask them, she thought. She consoled herself as she pulled the steamy green florets out of the oven. She determined to swallow all her second thoughts among them. The broccoli was a gift from one Robin Samuels, who'd blushed when she handed it over like a bouquet of flowers. I was told this would be a big hit, she said. The woman had dancing eyes, a broad smile, an intriguing speckle of pale paint on her hands and forearms. How confounding that she had that arrogant thorn, Thomas Van Leer, for a husband. Robin Samuels had something else, respect. Not the kind some visitors at Blue River put on like a costume when they went through the door. Jessica had well-honed radar when it came to knowing who was genuine. She had glimpsed the mother and daughter from across the common while she and Perry were decompressing from her telling. Robin and Zoe had alternately read their own books and chatted with various residents. There had been an origami lesson with the little Rojas girls, and Gina had come through with her rat-tailed comb and alcohol wipes to weave new hair braids all around. Jessica remembered something that Perry had said after his first week living away from Blue River, something about Zoe's mom being on his side. Today seemed proof enough of that. The way Perry told her, he would not have made it to Blue River with his camera and his pencil had she not stepped up. Yes, Robin Samuels had warmth and compassion. Now, if only Jessica could get past the fact that Robin also had Perry. Chapter 45, Overheard. I'm looking at my notes from Mom's interview. I'm turning all my jottings into sentences and paragraphs. Every so often, I play a video from my camera. Zoe is right beside me at the long desk in the Van Leer family room. She's doing math problems. Mr. Van Leer goes in and out at the door from the kitchen to the grill. Each little gust of chilly October air brings with it something that smells good. Mrs. Samuels comes in from the garage. I hear water running, and I know she's cleaning her paintbrushes in the kitchen sink. They either don't know or they've forgotten that Zoe and I are right around the corner from the kitchen. There you are, he says to her when he comes in again. How's the paint project coming? Oh, just get it. Great, she sings. Sorry to leave you to do all of dinner tonight. I really wanted to get that second coat on. It always takes longer than I think it will. Slow paint, slow food, he says. Yes, both are so artful. They laugh. Then they kiss. I can hear it. Zoe is multiplying decimals. She doesn't pay much attention to their kisses anyway. I don't know what it is about the little round dining table, Zoe's mom said. It's not like we need another one around here, but I couldn't resist bringing this ugly duckling in for a facelift. I'll find a good home for it. Absolutely. Somebody's going to love that table. Both voices trail off. The doors bang and all is quiet. They must be out at the grill together. I look down at my notebook and rest my cheeks on my hands. The problem I'm having with the Blue River stories is they want all the stories to come from the residents, like they are speaking. But then I start writing down what they've told me and everything slips out of their voices. Then I watch the slice of video and I began to transcribe it and I hear the person loud and clear again. I work this around in my head. Then I think again how perfect my project would be as a documentary. Ack, I say. Zoe snickers. I sit back and shake my head like maybe it can wake up my brain cells. Then I pull out a new sheet of notebook paper and try again. So what about the quotes? I think to myself. I decide to give it a try. The back door opens again. Robin, he would have survived without one Saturday visit. Thomas Van Leer is insistent and wrong. I let my next breath feel my chest slowly. Zoe hums a low growl, but doesn't look up from her equation. Survived, yes, Zoe's mom says. But listen to yourself, Tom. Isn't the idea for him to do a whole lot more than survive? How about we help him thrive? There was a little jar banging and then some quiet. Zoe looks at me and whispers, ooh. I whisper back. Everything was fine until I point to my own chest, and Zoe shrugs. He is thriving, Robin. Mr. Van Leer's voice is low in his throat, harder to hear. I catch something about the 2 trips a week in the bookmobile. Then he says it again. He didn't need to go. Yes, he did, and he does. Zoe's mom is loud and clear. I imagine her with one finger raised in the air between them. I saw a different boy at Blue River. He was whole. I'm glad I took him. Tom, I'll take him again. Then you're renegading on the particulars of our foster care plan, he says. I call it taking a boy to see his mother. I call it supporting the non-conforming policies of the warden who kept the boy locked up there his whole life. Oh, Tom, that's a stretch. He was not locked up. Look, we disagree about that. You'll have to do what you think is right on that point. That's your job, she says flatly. But I'm sure we'll disagree on this too. I have decided something else. She pauses. I want to get to know his mother. Robin, seriously? Yes, she tells him. Don't get in my way. She calls down towards the bedrooms. Zoe, Perry, supper's on. Chapter 46, Miss Shoshona's story. On Saturday, we pulled chairs together in our corner of Blue River Common. No one has to make Mr. Van Leer play cards today. He brought his own distraction, a fat folder full of papers. He's been dragging that to the Van Leer dinner table all week. I'm glad when he sits down by himself to work in the common. Miss Shoshona asks Mom to be her support person today. Miss Gina has helped her put on eye makeup. She looks at my camera and points. You ready, Perry? I try to keep the camera still. Why not? Yes. Is that thing on? I nod again. You ready? Yes, I finally have to say. Yeah, okay. I'm Shoshona Lee Lewis. She starts off sounding like Desiree Riggs, her voice all buttercream. She taps her long, skinny fingers on her chest. I got put in here about 6 months ago. I got a long time to go. I don't even want to talk about it. She slips out of the Desiree voice quickly. Girls, we're not chit-chatting. So I got put in here because I did something for a man, and that's not fair, what happened. Anyway, it was stupid, but I loved him. I was always doing what he wanted, and what he wanted to do was rob a bank, just a little one, because he owned a gun, some money, because he owed a guy some money. I told Chance, that's his name, that his plan had a serious flaw in it. Shoshona's fingers wag in the air. Like if he wants me to drive the getaway car, then he better teach me how first. So he took me to a big parking lot just before we went to the bank. She pretends she's holding on to the steering wheel. She says, she sways. Shh. There, I'm driving. I'm all, what's the big deal? This is easy. I got it. Chauncey wants to make sure I can drive real fast. I'm all, I know what the gas pedal is. I'm not a chicken. I punch my foot on it, and Chauncey's head goes slamming back into the seat, and he's screaming like a little sister. Shoshona cackles and laughs. Chauncey has me wait outside the bank, and he says, keep it running and make sure all the windows are open, baby. Got it? Open. He gives me a big kiss before he goes into the bank. It's winter, so I'm sitting there like a popsicle, poking at the radio, fiddling with the steering wheel, getting in some pretend driving practice. She wriggles back and forth. I'm ready to do my job. Then I look up at the little mirror and I see a car coming up right behind me. Closer and closer, and holy cow, it's the Popo. She claps her hands on her cheeks. They slide right into space behind me, and then they just sit there. So I don't know how those police cars I don't know if those police cars are onto what Chauncey's doing, but I do know I got to call this whole thing off. Chauncey can't rob the bank, not while the police are sitting right outside. So I think I can stop it if I just roll up the windows. So I do. Then I crank the wheel, pull the car out on the street real careful. Then Chauncey comes running outside of the bank like he's got a bear up his backside. He throws that duffel smack into the window, falls onto the sidewalk, and grabs it again, banging it onto the window. Open, 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 go, go, go. So I'm pushing the buttons and yanking that wheel, trying to do everything Chauncey wants me to do. I get the window open, and I think I'm doing good, so I push the gas pedal. Then the Popo puts on the blue light special. Shoshona whirls her fists and rolls her eyes. So now I'm scared. We're in trouble. I got to get us out of here. So I hit the gas real hard. Only thing is I don't have Chauncey. So he comes running alongside the car. He gets the duffel in the window finally. So that's all good. And I punch the gas again. I know I should slow down, but the police put on sirens and I'm scared. So Chauncey tries to pitch himself in through the back window, but he only gets top half in. His legs don't make it. I can't look back there because, hello, I'm busy driving. Somehow, Chauncey falls out of the car. I keep looking down the street before I see him. And I slam on the brakes because that's what you do when you love somebody, even a silly guy. Next thing I know, security guards from the little bank runs up and stick a knife in the tire. Man, so now I know I'm afraid trying to drive a car with a flat tire. And I didn't learn about going backwards in my one driving lesson. I try anything. Flump, 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 bam. Shoshona bangs her hands together. Hayden, you need to put your mask on. Ellie, could you please quit singing? I go smack into some flower trucks that must have come up behind me. Now I'm a mess. All I want to do is be with Chauncey, ask him what to do. So I get out of the car and run back to him where he's lying in the road. Miss Shoshona's eyes fill with water, and she pulls her knees up to her chest. She makes a sound like a kitten when it mews. Mom's asks, Shoshona, are you okay? She passes her a tissue. Anyway, Shoshona says, here comes the police. They don't even care that Chauncey's hurt. They slap bracelets on both of us. The only way I can tell that Chauncey's okay is that he's yelling at me up and down. So we got to go to the hospital and got his leg put into a cast, and I go to jail and sit here. Can't believe that. I'm no bank robber, but I end up getting charged right along with him. And you know what else? I got more time than him. She begins to count it off on her fingers. They said I robbed the bank, so that's a federal crime. I got reckless endangerment with a motor vehicle. I drove without a license, no registration, and I left the scene of an accident when I ran back to Chauncey after I hit the flower truck. She shakes her head. She says, it's not fair. Everything is quiet. Then Shoshona says, remember those questions, the one you put in Glamour magazine, Perry? You asked me what the best thing and what the worst thing is about being at Blue River. I remember, I said. Well, the worst thing is being here with somebody else watching me and telling me what to do all day. I had enough of that on the outside. The best thing is Jessica, because she's been a good friend. Shh. Keeps me out of trouble. I like that, even though I know she doesn't like me so much. But I do, Mom grins. You're like my annoying little sister. Yeah, for real? You bet. Thanks for that. Shoshona takes her tissue in the heel of her hand and rubs her nose in a big upward sweep. Sorry, she says. Sorry I got so much snot today. Oh my gosh, you didn't take a picture of that, did you, Perry? She laughs and makes all of us laugh too. All right, the end for today.